Foldable phones are known for having a hefty price tag, but with this phone, the Infinix Zero Flip, all that might just be about to change. On the face of it, it's kind of confusing, considering the fact that the cheapest foldable phone you can get retails for about $800. So how did Infinix do it? Well, in this video, we are going to find out how good the Infinix Zero Flip actually is, or whether it's even worth buying. The first thing you would notice about this phone is the design. No doubt, foldable phones have greatly excelled in this aspect. Right since the very first one, the company is making it clearly understood that this is a phone which opens and closes multiple times throughout the day, so it has to be as durable as possible. With this phone, Infinix says it can be folded about 400,000 times, and I did the math to see how this works in a real life scenario. Apparently, if you open and close it about 200 times a day, it will take about 6 years to get to that number, which is insane. Another thing I love about the build quality is how well it folds. When completely closed, there is surprisingly no gap between both sides, and that means it will prevent dust, dirt, pocket lint and other foreign objects from entering the phone and causing damage to the main display. The phone also feels really good. You get this matte-like finish which completely envelopes the bottom half of the phone. It is protected with Gorilla Glass Victus too. The cameras are heavy duty but barely causes any sort of wobbling due to how pushed in they are into the cover screen. The sides are a bit glossy, but I think it's to deliver a clear message. This is just as good as other alternatives design wise, and I rate it for that. So its design is as good as the competition. However, does that apply to the display? Let's start with the main screen. It's a 6.9-inch Full HD display with a 120Hz refresh rate and 1400 nits of brightness. It's OLED, which means colors are punchy and vivid. The Full HD resolution makes things super crisp and sharp. And the 120Hz refresh rate can even support LTPA technology, which can automatically scale the refresh rate to adjust to whatever you are doing. For example, when you are staring at a static web page, the screen will be refreshing really low, but when you happen to scroll, it will shoot up to that super high 120Hz refresh rate, which saves a lot of battery doing so. Now let's talk about the cover screen, and you won't believe how useful this little thing is. Though it shares similar specs with the main display and even lacks LTPA tech, the core functionality makes up for it. For starters, this little 3.64-inch panel isn't your regular cover screen which displays the little things such as notifications, clock, etc. This display goes all out on what you can achieve with a size so small. It supports multiple apps like YouTube, Facebook and WhatsApp, the weather and much more. But it doesn't stop there. This little screen can also play games. It's kind of a backdoor method, but if you follow through the Play Store, you can access a few games and it isn't actually that bad. The cover screen is also extremely customizable. I'm not a huge fan of customization, but if you want that display to look good, there are a lot of incredible customization options to choose from and they look really cool. Not bad for a first try Infinix. The software is also an area I was quite picky about. The software running on a regular bar smartphone can't be the same running on a foldable, as there are numerous things to do with such a great form factor. And since Infinix is very new to it, I thought all hell would break loose. But I was so wrong. The software powering this very phone is so impressive, I don't think you should have any problems using it. Firstly, it's built around the folding format. You could keep this phone in a clamshell position and still get a picture perfect YouTube viewing experience, with multiple apps optimized specially for that. The video now takes about the upper screen, whilst the bottom half contains the essential media controls, and that is, in my opinion, much better than just crowding the media keys in the bottom of the top half. There's little to no ads and the bloatware is minimal, with a few actually able to be uninstalled. So crappy apps can be terminated with just a click. The software is also feature rich. You are getting Folax, the default AI assistant which can help you do a variety of things. You get Gemini, which is like ChatGPT, that can answer a lot of your annoying questions with quite reliable answers. You get an AI wallpaper generator which can develop cool wallpapers, and you can even use the sketch to wallpaper feature, which I think is very cool. In the photo editor, you can also use a few AI editing tools such as Magic Eraser, and it really works. The point is that software isn't lacking and it's further complemented by 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security patches. So they're saying that with this phone you can get to Android 16, which is amazing. Wow. And if you're enjoying this video, then kindly click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Performance is one area which I think was quite underwhelming, and It's not what you think. Powering this phone is the MediaTek Dimensity 8020, the same chip which powered the Tecno 30 Pro, and it's very good. It's a 6nm chipset complemented by 512GB of UFS 3.1 storage and 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM. Apps open in an instant and everything just feels alive. Gaming is awesome as you can play top of the line titles like Call of Duty Mobile and others at medium settings and high frame rates without seeing the occasional lags and stuttering. The rear will also get hot if you push it, but that won't be so big of a deal. But why I feel performance is the worst area of this phone is the fact that if you compare it to other foldables out there, it isn't even close. The chipset of board here is good for its amazing price, but considering this is about ₦1 million here in Nigeria, shouldn't we be getting the highest end specifications here? But I guess it's one of the best as a mid-range smartphone. Battery life is also an area which I was really impressed with. Folding phones, especially the flip ones, haven't had exactly the best reputation for battery. But with this phone we're getting a 4720 mAh battery, which when you combine with the battery saving LTP AMOLED display and the well optimized software should mean the best battery you can get out of any foldable, period. And it's no slouch when it comes to charging. The Zero Flip supports up to 70 watts supercharging, which should take this phone from 0 to 100% in about an hour. There's also reverse charging to top up any extra smartphones on the go. Now, before I talk about the cameras, I want to point out a few extras. This phone comes with dual stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos tuning, and it's very loud with bass all around to enhance your content viewing experience. The side-mounted fingerprint scanner is a little bit fiddly when setting up, but when you have done it, it's very accurate and rapid in unlocking the phone. And even though it might survive accidental exposure to water, it's definitely not IP certified, which I feel is a bit weird, especially when you pay this amount of money for a phone. Now onto the cameras. With this phone we're getting a 50MP main camera, a 50MP ultra wide camera, as well as a 50MP selfie camera. The photos honestly surprised me, very crisp and sharp with high dynamic range and consistent colors. The selfie camera may be 50MP as well, but trust me, it's much better to take selfies with the rear cameras, which is the main benefit of having that curved build and massive cover screen. Video on both the rear and front cameras is capped at 4K 30 frames per second, but you can obviously see why this is a flagship. There is also optical image stabilization to help steady the video output, and you can see how much of a difference it makes versus if you turned it off. So that's basically all you need to know about the insane value $600 Infinix Zero Flip. I like that it's very similar to competition, which are more expensive, and even if it's not as powerful, you will never get a better foldable for this price because this phone definitely ticks all the boxes. But if you think you are not that interested in foldables or the price is unjustifiably high, check out the Tecno 30 Pro, which is amazing for just $150. Click the card on the screen and I'll tell you all about it.